The fees and charges, he Puna Taimoana.
You met Johnny on the spot. Big time.
I just wonder.
Yeah. Here we go. I've got some questions here. Questions?
But he beat me. Oh,
Could we have,
feel free.
do we have questions?
It's all right, but Jake seconded and Galloway. Any questions?
Yes. Feedback. How are you going to get? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Is that on? Sorry. You're going. These are going to be put in place for a certain amount of time, and then you're going to review. Is that correct? Review the charges.
Yes, I think it's really important for the Puna Taimoana that it's not treated like anything else, so it's continually reviewed.
Right.
Fees and charges.
Perfect. How will that be done, Nigel? What kind of processes will you have in place to kind of get feedback from people?
We'll have a Facebook site, so we'll get plenty of responsive
Yep.
and just from staff on at the venue. We'll get an indication whether it's those fees and charges are not working, but probably most importantly will be through the attendance. You know, if we're not hitting our attendance numbers, we'll need to look at that and what proportion are coming. And how we've been able to penetrate the different markets that we're after, the international market versus the local market.
Thank you.
Catherine too.
Thank you.
Just with the pool membership, does that cover access to this facility here, or is that separate to that?
The pool membership is just for Puna Taimoana. It doesn't cover our other recreation facilities. Is that the question you're asking? Yeah.
Cool, thank you.
Melanie?
I completely support this, but I have had a lot of people, talk about sometimes the price is too expensive, and I wondered if, because a lot of people have suggested that maybe we could have, and I don't know how to manage it, but maybe one day a year where it's cheaper or half price or something like that, maybe for ward areas or something, so that people can go who wouldn't normally.
Yes, I think that's a part of the surprise and delight packages. So building that community connection, so beach cleanups, if you do the beach cleanup, for example, you'll have access to the pool afterwards. So how we can work with the community to make sure they take ownership and connect, but certainly that's part of the surprise and delight. So we've avoided the peak and off-peak times to see what that's going to be like, so then we can start to do initiatives we go through to make sure that everyone gets to use these facilities.
Andrew?
Thank you, and thanks for the work done in coming up with the prices that we've got here in this report, which I'm generally supportive of. Just looking at paragraphs 3.25, 3.26 in the report, obviously there's some market research been done, and there are some projections that we're working to when you've worked up these fees and come up with this proposal. There is an argument that we've got an opportunity to revisit fees and charges at every LTP and annual plan process, but are you building in a review after a particular period on these fees and charges, given that a lot of the thinking is around the capacity of this facility and wanting those people that go in there to have a particular experience, so wanting to avoid overcrowding?
Yes, that's part of the second recommendation, so that we can do that to the General Manager of the Sydney community, so we can respond to the market swiftly, and as any fees and charges, it will be approved by council on an annual basis as part of the annual plan process.
And is there a plan to start looking at that, maybe after 6 months or something of that nature?
Yes.
Thank you.
Tim and then Phil.
Thank you. Look, originally when this came up to us, it was very heavily put as a tourism destination, so that can't be forgotten as well. But I would like, when we are, and I'm be interested in your feedback, because with the report on page 300, the attachment B, I'd be interested to know what the cost per head is running the other facilities that we've taken the entry fee kind of guidelines off, because when you review these prices, it is not a community pool. There are not swimming lessons, etc. here. It's a basic. It is and was sold to us as a tourist facility destination to try and revive New Brighton and help that regeneration. So I would like in the review, if we can, to have the cost per head of what it is costing us to run that facility when you go to do that evaluation. Thank you.
Take that on board.
Thank you.
Right. So, Phil.
Just to sort of put people's worries at bay, the young lady that's the general manager down there, I've met her a number of times. She is switched on. She if we're giving her the discretion to move the prices up and down, she will do it straight away. She's got a finger on the pulse. So there's nothing. When you meet her, which one day hopefully you will, you'll be suitably impressed, and that would be the question that I was going to ask you.
The question is, do you have confidence?
I think you were just simply asking them to clarify
yes,
the surprise
exactly.
element of the community connection with community doing things for themselves, and then at the same time being able to utilise the facility.
Absolutely, Phil. We've employed really good staff to run this.
It was an excellent question. I'm highly supportive of that form of question. Thank you. Look, I'll open it up for debate. Anne.
I'd like to say, look, it's congratulations on getting it, this amazing facility to this point. And it's really pleasing to see that you've looked at ticket prices for residents and that are significantly less than those who are not residents of Christchurch, and that's terrific, I think. So these also compare really favourably with other facilities, for example, Hamner Springs, which is great. And it's great to see that there are day passes, which would mean that families could come out and go and have a picnic somewhere and then come back, so that's terrific. So I think that you are managing the tension between pricing and not wanting to overwhelm the facility, which would mean a negative experience for people, coming in if there's too many overcrowded. So that's been a difficult tension. So really look forward to hearing fantastic reviews of this wonderful facility. Thanks for the work you've done. So I'll be obviously supporting this recommendation.
Sam.
Thanks very much. I mean, initially I was sort of a wee bit hesitant around the pricing. I know we've talked about it at length. I just think, one thing which would be really useful when we do go to the review is look at how we can drive up that outside of Christchurch price, because I really think we should set the example that we try and break even if we can with this facility, given what we can do with it long term. So it's just an urging that I guess when we can, if we can look at how we do it and bump that price up for those outside of Christchurch. Thanks.
Good. Thank you. Look, brilliant. Good work. And the last thing that I just thought that I'd mention is that this is a smaller scale facility. It's not like the Metro Sports. It's and I think people's expectations also have to be managed in this context. And I know that everyone's worked very hard to do that. It does have size limitations. There are 5 pools there, I think, but there are still only a maximum, I think, of about 172 that can be managed at any one time. I did read the paper, and I just think we just have to remind people that to space their work, and obviously off-peak hours gives us a lot more flexibility in terms of price. So that's good, and I'm very pleased with where we've got to. So I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. Thank you. How are we going for time?